sirens in Israel have sounded once again after a night of attacks between the two sides. Iran launched a new wave of missiles toward the country this Saturday. 3 people have been killed in Israel, dozens injured by the strikes. Now, if Iran continues firing missiles, Israel's defense minister warned, quote, Tehran will burn. All this comes after more than 24 hours after Israel's initial strike. Friday's attack was its biggest ever on Iran's nuclear facilities, which killed several Iranian military commanders. Let's speak to our correspondent, Noga Tarnopolsky. Hello to you, Noga. What's the latest information you have on Iranian strikes in Israel?
Well, the absolute latest information I got is a statement from the Israel Defense Forces just 2 minutes ago, admitting that 7 Israeli soldiers were wounded, lightly wounded, in one of the Iranian missiles that evaded Israel's air defenses last night. And this is I call it an admission because the Israeli army has gone to some lengths to prevent any real information being released about the sites of where these missiles actually landed. And this is an implicit admission that either, that a site very close to the military headquarters in Tel Aviv was hit.
And then we've also been getting updates from the Israeli military about their operations in Iran and just how expansive they were.
Yes, and it's also a bit confusing. There was a briefing from the IDF spokesperson recently, and he said that Israel had hit Isfahan and Natanz, but did not mention Fordow, despite the fact that earlier today there were reports that Israel had also hit, at least superficially, a nuclear installation in Fordow. Israel released a list of the names of 9 nuclear scientists and their roles, explaining how they were important for the construction, despite not being military figures, justifying why they were legitimate military targets and explaining in some detail their roles in the creation of this entire pretty vast Iranian military nuclear program. And mostly, I think the real interest in this, for those who don't follow the specific names of specific scientists, is to realize how deeply penetrated Israeli intelligence is in the top echelons of the Iranian military structure.
Yeah, and we'll be getting an update from our correspondent in a moment on some of those developments. Noga, just a question about whether there was disagreement within the Israeli government or its military about these strikes in Iran.
There was some disagreement from what we hear. Of course, none of this is publicly declared, but we know that there were some differences among the top military brass in Israel, some thinking that it was irresponsible for Israel to go it alone without the United States. And there are, in fact, more and more reports that one of Israel's aims, at least an aim of the Israeli government, is to actually bring the United States in militarily. We saw that today through several Israeli political analysts beginning to report that, in addition to our own reporting. And also, a rumor mill online, I'd say, coming into play today, saying that the United States had already engaged militarily in Iran, which I don't believe is true, but it gives you a sense of what is trying to pass for truth online.
All right, Noga, thank you very much. Noga Tarnopolsky